Welcome to the Dr. VTAC Show. This podcast is long-form conversation hosted by Dr. VTAC with the top guests in the world of eSport, owners, managers, pros, semi-pros, former pros, and content creators of many games. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dr. VTAC Show. We got a special guest today. Phenomenal human being, nice individual. His name is Chris Lama. Guys, you may know him from Parabellum. He's co-founder and previous CEO of Parabellum Esports, professor and program developer at various Canadian colleges. Currently account executive for ViralNation in the Talented Ventures division. Well, guys, let's introduce you, Chris Lama. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here, and thanks for the intro. Always love that.
Thank you. Yeah, so Chris, what have you been up to lately? We know that Parabellum left R6, left basically esports. So what's new? What if you could say what kind of happened or what's going on? What happened to Parabellum? Everybody was like, "Whoa, what happened? They left."
Yeah, things happen in this industry sometimes. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of, I guess, maybe not proper education with our company on how to properly fund organizations, run teams, a little bit of back and forth on even if it was viable, really, to continue in that. And as a whole, the company decided it's probably not the best to continue with the program. It was on path to being a profitable organization, but it was just taking too long. And we were owned by a publicly traded company that sometimes don't have as much patience. I respect the decision, of course. My contract ended in April, and since I've moved on to a company called ViralNation, been very good over there. I still am in esports, so we can say that. I've been working with some colleges, helping them develop some programs so that teams and people can have that education and this industry can continue to grow and be smart as we grow. And then I will be teaching. I just got a contract for a college called Conestoga, and I'll be teaching in that program. They've got an esports team as well, so hopefully I can get involved a little bit there and help out as much as possible. But super excited to still be continuing and keep my toes in the water in the esports industry.
Oh, awesome! That's awesome. So, Viral Nation, what is that about?
So we're a full service talent agency. So we represent, I think as of Wednesday, we had our big end of year town hall. We represent over 900 content creators, influencers, athletes, celebrities, helping them get brand deals, helping them with their social media strategies, pretty much the whole gamut of what a marketing agency would do for talent, as well as we do work with some large companies on their strategies as well. But me specifically, I work with a very close friend and who used to be my lawyer and our lawyer for Parabellum, Evan Cubis, and we run the Talent Ventures division. So what we're doing is helping talent launch product into the marketplace, whether it's merchandise like hats, t-shirts, hoodies, whatever else it is. As far as we've done chocolate bars for somebody, we did like a handcrafted wooden salad bowl for somebody else, pins, all kinds of different things. So anything that they want, we try to make it happen, and it's been very successful so far, like 6 months in.
So basically what you're saying, you're the guy I need to hire to make my branding.
When you're ready for merch, yeah, you hit me up and you say, Chris, I need merch for my amazing podcast that has 1 million listeners every month. They need merch, and we'll hook you up and we'll get it done.
You know how much money that first I need to get monetized.
That's how you monetize. I got you. We actually do have we do have a podcast division within the company too.
Really?
Yeah, so they are helping transition content creators to diversify their income, right? So One of our things is the ventures division. The other is podcasting. We have an OTT, which is over the top, which kind of gives more access to those content creators. But just again, that full gamut of, is TikTok, Instagram, YouTube a forever thing for you? Yes or no? And then can you expand into other things? And we've seen great success with some of our talent, like moving into the sale of merchandise when they never thought they'd sell a piece of anything, and they're making 1,000 orders in 2 weeks of merch from their fan base. It's really cool.
Wow. Okay. Well, trust me, I am going to hook you up. I am going to hook you. I'm gonna reach out. Trust me. Let me get there. As soon as I get there, that's phenomenal.
Hey, you're on the right track. You got to start recording first. Get a whole bunch of stuff in the pipeline. Start posting, cutting stuff, putting on Instagram. There's not enough of you probably to do all this at one time. But once you get there, you'll have assistants helping you out, and then you'll be good. You'll be flying.
Yeah, it's. I got right now. I'm all the way booked all the way till February. I got quite a bit of people. A lot of people don't know I mod for over 30 pro players.
Wow, so that's amazing.
Yeah, and that's with all of our Rainbow Six, and I got some Halo players as well. And majority are professionals, pros, or semi-pros, and even retired. Like I'm on for Pengu, he's retired now. But I just like, hey, I'm doing a podcast. Can you help me out? I help you out.
There you go. That's it.
So they're like, yeah, sure, not a problem. And oh my God, sometimes I just I think I overdid it, and we booked till February.
I think that's a good problem to have.
Oh, it is. It is. I mean, this is more like a hobby because I work in the medical field and I work in a hospital. So I do my 3 days a week, 12-hour shifts. And this kind of like gets my mind off of that, so it's like really fun. I still makes me feel young in a way. So I just like doing interviews, and it's like, this is my thing. I kind of like it because I did this streaming. I tried it. I did get a whole bunch of followers, but the problem was that I was thinking, okay, you got 400. I was able to get 400 some odd followers, but none of those 400 followers see you all the time. They're not launching in, and you get a portion of it. So I was getting like 3 or 4 viewers. And I was like, wait one second, this doesn't make sense. So then I look at other big names, big people, like for an example, Summit. Summit follows me on Twitter. And I was kind of like in shock, and then I see that he has like millions. I think 6.2 something followers on Twitch, if I'm not mistaken. But then when he turns on his computer, he plays, he's only getting 15, 20,000 viewers.
Yeah, what's the retention, and what are people coming back to? And I mean, that relates back to what I'm doing now with merch, right? How many people are we actually going to convert on? And we're seeing, anywhere between 4%, 10% of people who have millions and millions of followers. So if you're on a very, like you said before, it's an audio first program, right? With podcasting. Why are you taking your time out of your day to set up your stream, make sure it's right, checking viewers, seeing if they're making comments, when if you focus on the audio first, get it on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, then you're good to go, right? So I think you're doing it right. I like this model.
Yeah,
perfect it first and then go live and then have cameras and whatever else you need to do. And then one day you'll have a studio and people will come to you and it'll be great.
Oh yeah. I saw how Joe Rogan, his first 20 episode. Oh my God. It was just brutal. I was like, this is like, mine is 10 times better than his, in the beginning. But now look at him now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's baby steps, right? You can't just like jump in head first and say, I'm going to have the best podcast in the world. But you're starting and you're in a niche area. And I think that with the people that you've listed for me previous, like you have a good amount of people that have the right experience to talk about things. And will drive the right people to listen as well. So I'm excited to see the growth of this podcast. And when I come back a second time, then we'll see where we're at.
Yeah, that's true. And hopefully by then we can start talking about the merchandising and how do we get that through. And
yeah, it'll be our launch episode for the merch.
Oh man, that'd be phenomenal. That'd be phenomenal.
See, you got to think. What's your 5-year plan?
Yeah, that's true.
I like this.
So now, other than with Virus Nation, you're going to be like helping out organizations. You guys going to concentrate on that, just helping, just individuals and players, or?
So we work with anyone. It's not just an esports agency. We work with anyone, right? Anyone who's got some kind of platform on social media or a fan base or is trying to grow there. Personally, I work with talent who have large followings, over 1 million on each social media platform. My most recent clients, they have like 5-6+ million across all platforms. That doesn't mean we're not working with smaller creators. We do have in our divisions, we do have smaller creators, and we do have a gaming and esports division. I am working with one quite large creator in Rainbow Six as well. Can't talk about it yet, but his merch is coming. Maybe by the time this podcast goes live, it'll be coming out. But we're really excited about it. We've been working on it for about like 3 months. When it goes live, it'll be really cool.
It's gonna be.
I'm excited to see how he converts. For sure.
Oh, okay. We'll keep it at that. Now, well, you're from. Going a little bit more about you. You're from Canada, right?
Yes, I am. Very cold here right now.
For some reason, I get along with Canadians, and I'm from Puerto Rico, and what's really strange, I'm like, man, these Canadians are such nice people, and I just get along with them, and they're like very friendly. So then I come to think, I talked to my mom. I said, Mom, Canadians are like really nice. She goes, well, you got French in you. I was like, what are you talking about? Well, your grandfather, my dad, he was half French because his father, I think, his mother, my great grandma, she was French. I was like, get the heck out of here. They go, yeah, that's why you're very light complexion. I was like, I didn't that comes from that side of the family. I was like, wow, I didn't know that, So she was giving me the history of it. And I was like, God, no wonder.
We're just bred as very nice people. When we're born, they pour some maple syrup on us and it just makes us sweeter.
Yeah, right. I noticed that in Canada, that's the big thing is maple syrup.
It's the best. Were you ever at SI in Montreal?
No,
you never made it. Yeah,
never made it. Never went to an SI period. Not even to a major. I really would like to go one day. And now that I'm with the wild card, they might do something later on in the future.
Tell them to hook it up. Ben Griff, I see you. Send this man to SI or a major.
Yeah, I told him, hey,
and do a live podcast with the team. That'd be insane. That'd be great.
That will be insane. Yeah, I just need a camera and that's it.
Yeah,
my cell phone. That's basically it. You can just.
I'll come and hold the boom.
That'd be funny. So, yeah, that'd be awesome.
I got to experience this year's SI. It was right before we had our big company meetings, and it was quite the experience. It was really cool to meet everyone there. It's funny how, it's across the board. Every esport fan base is pretty like ruthless on social media, and they're very I don't know how I want to word this so I don't make anyone angry. They're very vocal on how things operate in the esports scene and in their specific scene, and they think they know what's best for teams and all that stuff. And then you meet these people in person, and they're just the sweetest people. They're all just these young kids that are just like enjoying being at this event. And the people who I thought were usually the most aggressive on social media were just like the nicest people.
It's kind of strange. There's some people that I like that I like, and some people that I just feel like they have this this vibe that I just don't like. They seem obnoxious and they seem egoistic.
Yeah,
All this stuff.
yeah.
And I think that sometimes when you meet them face to face, all that stuff changes.
Mm-hmm.
You're
It
one way
sure does.
online, you're one way on, but now that we're face to face, now you're like, hey, you're the most humblest person in the
It's
world.
so true. I'd go back to like when I met all the boys the first time all together in Vegas when we had our relegation match against Exec way back in time when we were going from the Challengers League to the Pro League. When I met all the boys in person, they were all just so quiet. They're machines and they type like crazy in the game chat.
Mhm.
And once I finally met them in person, I was like, you guys are just like, you're just kids. You're little
Yeah, you're
kids.
just
Like,
little kids.
you're 18 years old. You're living the dream. You got flown
Yeah.
to Vegas. You're staying in a hotel for free. You're eating for free. Everything. And then finally, once they made it, it was like a huge thing. And then, the culture shock of moving away from home at 18 years old, living with a bunch of guys that you don't really know. Really, really crazy experience. But it was cool to see their growth and the ones who stuck around and got to stay with the team or are still in the league. It's been a very interesting thing. I think Spirits is with Wildcard now, right?
Yeah, Spirits
Yeah,
is wild card. He's a big talk. He's
he's one of our OGs. He got us to the Pro League when we were just starting.
phenomenal young guy. He's
Yeah,
phenomenal. I got to speak to him when I get a chance.
French Canadian.
Yeah, French Canadian. Got that accent in him. Very humble. That's one of the things I admire about him. It's like he's so good, but at the same time, he's a very humble guy. He's the same. Wherever he's at when he's streaming or if he's on Discord or he's just very very nice and friendly. And I'm like, man, this guy's super. He has a big future.
Yeah, nothing bad to say about him. He's very, what I loved about him is he can turn it on and off. And when it was game time, like zoned in. I think I have a picture of him when we were training in the training space going into the relegation matches. And you could just see him like flip that switch from happy, smiley to like zoned in and like
Game mode to
yeah,
beast
game mode,
like, okay,
which is great. And that's not something you can teach. He has it, and I'm excited to see how next year goes for him as well.
Yeah, Wildcard is very happy to have him. Very happy. Dispa, I don't know if you know him, general manager. Dispa, super happy. I mean, Dispa and I we talk on a weekly basis. Because I have a lot of ideas that I input for the org and stuff that because I want to see the org grow. I want to see it go big. And I used to be in marketing for the car industry. I used to do sales, and we try to figure out ways to sell, how to boost the sales and stuff like that. And that kind of my career just went kaploops after when GM went bankrupt. But then I just had to look for a different future. But I implemented.
You went into the medical field?
Yeah, I mean, I went into the retail afterwards, and then the medical field. That's because my wife is a nurse, and she got her bachelor's, and then she's now a manager. So then I just like, let me just go in the same field. I kind of like it. Something secure. Anywhere I could go, I could get a job, any state or anything. So, yeah. So with Wildcard, I have so much ideas, and I just implement all the stuff that I learned in the past, and I just give it out to Dispa. It's a really phenomenal guy, and I see a big future with this organization. I mean, we're just basically neon to the rainbow on this side on NA, because we were on the other side. I think in EU, if I'm not mistaken. So. So I got a couple ideas. I got some things in my underneath my sleeves that I talked to Dispa about, and he's gonna look into it. And but right now, I see Rainbow Six growing, but is growing a lot on content creation, and it's because of Jinxie.
Yeah, I mean, he's like what, number one, fluctuating number 1 and 2 on the list for content creators on Twitch right now for viewership and subscribers and all that. So like, it's so important. And now seeing it from the agency level and where I'm at, seeing how important it is to have content creators talking and about brands in general, or in his case about the game. It's key for growth. It's key for success. It's good to get new people in. The one thing I've noticed that even a lot of the casters are doing, maybe who are good examples, Jesse, for example. Jesse's been posting a lot about like educational content about the game. What is happening during this play that makes it so important? Because Rainbow Six is one of the hardest games to watch. It's not Rocket League. Rocket League is the easiest game to watch. You and I, we can turn it on for, a 70, 80-year-old relative, and they'll understand the game. If they know soccer or hockey or whatever, get the ball into the net, right? The only difference is there's flying cars flying around and kids are insane at the game now. But Rainbow Six, it's the only stacked shooter, right? And there's 3 levels, and the cameras are getting better now because they've implemented all these free cams and stuff for spectators. But it's so hard to watch and it's so hard to follow, and there's so many operators, and the game's been around for so long. So I don't know what the new operator does if I'm just coming in. I don't know what the first operator does, the original operators, when I'm first coming in. So we need somebody to come in and say, hey, here's your crash course, your educational course. If you're a new viewer in 2024, here's everything. And that's like content for weeks and months if somebody can pull that off. So as long as you can educate people coming in, and even me who, ran an organization and was focused on the players and the play, we had coaches and analysts, and the players would be teaching me stuff. And, people in our Discord who know more than me were teaching me stuff about the game. I was just focused on the business. I didn't understand. I just knew either kill 5 guys first, defuse the bomb, or plant the bomb. That's it. That's all I care about. But there's just so many nuances in that game that make it so cool and so unique, but it's just so hard to follow.
It is.
So education
is very tactical. And then to explain, you got to explain to people baby steps. Okay, there's a defense. What does defense do? What can you do and what you cannot do? There's offense. What can you do and what you cannot do? Sometimes in the prep stage on defense, they say, I'm trying to jump out the window. I say, you can't. You gotta wait till it starts. Then you could jump out. And a lot of times they just, a lot of folks that come in, they just don't know. And, but that educational part is very, very important. That will keep the game more interesting once they learn, once they know, and they see how the game actually goes about and what each operator ability and what other operators could uses to to go against them. And now with this new freeze operator, it's causing a lot of glitches. I know that on the game, but at the end, Ubisoft is gonna figure out how to fix it. It's just like, and I think somebody told me Clash was basically what caused a lot of issues. That's why they even removed Clash from the game. She's with her shield and electricity, and it just caused so much issues with other operators. So I don't know what's going on this season. I haven't played it much. I played a little bit of it because I'm more into the podcasting, making sure I get good equipment, making sure I get good stuff. So I'm not even. I play just a couple games here and there, get a feel for it, and then do my other stuff. Now I find other things more important to do than to play.
I'd say since my exit full time from esports, I haven't turned my computer on much. I haven't played enough video games.
Wow.
So it's been a lot of work life balance, which is nice. Spending time with the dog, with the family, and just not a lot of screen time. Played a little bit of Fortnite here and there, I will admit.
Okay.
Over when they re-released the OG, and then played a little bit of the Lego Fortnite because it was a lot of fun. I don't think I've turned Siege on other than to keep my account active.
Yeah. Talking about the OG on Fortnite, my gosh, everybody, that was like the
They
biggest.
broke records. They broke records of player base when they launched the OG, and then when they released the Lego Fortnite, they broke the record again. So within a month, they broke like 2 concurrent player records of like, I don't even know what the numbers were. I'd have to look them up, but insane. Like all my friends messaging like, let's get on Fortnite. I'm like, what year is this?
Yeah.
Like, is it 2017 again? Let's go. I'm in. Sign me up. I haven't played in so long.
My kids were on it. They're like diehard Fortnite fans, and they were playing it every single day. They come up from school and just play, and I say, "Go ahead, play all you want. I don't care." And so you're bringing in good grades. You got all the free time. They have a game room, and they were just playing it and playing it. And as soon as the OG ended, they're like,
All right, back to Roblox.
Oh, yeah. Let's go back to Pokemon or other games they play. And then now I'm seeing them playing Fortnite again. I say, what are you doing? Oh, you gotta see this Lego. It's phenomenal.
It's
like,
it's so dope. I love it. It's a lot of fun.
Really neat.
It's like Roblox and Minecraft in
Minecraft.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
They're taking over. They're absolutely taking over the space. And they're immersing everyone into the game in different ways, and they're trying to find ways to engage the audience, right? And even again, like how can this be done with the Rainbow Six? How can this be done with other shooter games? Events are huge, but you can only do so much in Rainbow Six. They're scaling back how much you're able to do in the game too, right? When it comes to I'm pretty sure they removed the T-Hunt version, like that mode for the game right now.
Yeah,
I know the playlists are weird. I haven't been on in a while, but they're scaling things back, and I know they're coming out with a new game that's not that's more of like a Call of Duty shooter, but
yeah, there's a mode. It's a team deathmatch they have now. I was just greatly disappointed that they removed unranked. I loved unranked because when I play unranked, I could do everything as you do on rank, but my issue is that you didn't have to worry. Well, the thing is, unranked, I didn't have to worry about cheaters that much. Because the cheaters, they don't go to unranked because they don't benefit out of it. If they win, they're not gonna boost up anything. They're not gonna level up. They're not gonna get champ or whatever. So they don't hang out on unranked. You will do face once in a while a couple 2 cheaters in unranked matches, but it was more fun. You had the less stress because if you lose, you don't lose your rank.
right.
So you play a little bit more free. You will do more stunts that you would not do on a ranked match. So you play more relaxed. And everybody was like, okay, no worry, we lost. Who cares? Let's go to the next one.
Yeah. Doesn't affect me at all.
Doesn't affect me. If I don't know and I don't have the same skill level, we're still gonna have fun and let's have a blast. I play with Packer. I play on unranked. I play with Tristan, friends of mine. I play with them on unranked matches, and we just have a blast.
Yeah.
And what's really funny, I start outperforming. And I'm like, "Hey, dude, you're a pro. Look at me, and I'm out, doing this." It's just it's a more relaxed environment.
Yeah.
But they took it out, Ubisoft, and I don't know why. It was like the worst decision ever made because everybody's complains about that. Because now there's a casual, it's called, they switch it to standard, and it's just horrible. You can't pick and ban maps, you can't pick and ban operators. So I'm like disappointed in the game in that sense. And I just like don't play it as much. I just rather go
Mhm.
on Flight Simulator, fly around the world, talk to
I've
some
tried that. That's a hard game.
Flight Sim. Yeah,
Do you
It-
have like controllers or like the stuff, or do you just
I
use
have the
keyboard and mouse?
Boeing. The Boeing. I'm gonna show it to you right now.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm excited.
This is the Boeing. I'm sorry, not the Boeing. Airbus.
Okay, cool.
The Airbus kit. And I got the throttle and everything. So this is for the exclusive for the Airbus. Boeing uses a yoke. Has the yoke,
Yeah.
and they could be very expensive. A lot of people think they're cheap. Flight Simulator is one of the most expensive hobbies. That one it went in with Star Citizen if you like the sci-fi Star Citizen. Because some people build some home cockpit that are like
I've seen some crazy things for like iRacing and for truck simulators and all that
yes,
stuff. So all the sim games, they can get pricey.
very
I
pricey.
just have the regular steering wheel for sim, and that's about it.
For which one, the Flight Sim or
No, for iRacing
oh
and like
racing?
F1. Yeah,
Oh jeez,
just the regular wheel and pedal, like the G920, whatever it is, the lowest of the low, like $300.
yeah.
Which
That's
is, I
so
mean, it's pricey, but that's the lowest of the
yeah,
low. Like that's just
yeah.
pretty much like entry level stuff. And
Yeah.
then with iRacing, there's like the subscription, which I don't, obviously, like I said, I don't turn my computer on much right now, but the subscription model, it's like however much a month. And then you got to buy the cars and the tracks. And I'm not sure if it's the same. I'm assuming it's the same for Flight Simulator too, right? You got to buy the planes and do you have to or no?
Yeah,
You have to
well,
unlock them,
they
right?
sell in kits. There's the standard, there's the pro, and there's the advanced, something like that. I haven't
Yeah.
looked up. So I always get the best because I hate. There's one thing about me that I just don't like. I hate going through buyer's remorse. You know, so I buy something and then like for $20 more. You know,
Yeah.
so I gotta make sure how I present it to my wife. So she doesn't get. I try to get her something that's really awesome. That
I
she
really need the D-box
yeah,
seats so that when I'm taking off on the plane, the whole
yeah,
house shakes.
exactly.
It's only $7,000. Can we do it? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Does it fly? No, it just
No,
shakes.
it just shakes. That's it.
Yeah.
On Flight Sim, there's this guy. He's actually he's a doctor, but I just found out because there are these a PC company that just specifically makes PCs for flight sims. So people want a flight sim, they design it, they know the motherboards to make sure the game runs as smooth as possible. And so he went to a graveyard and airplane graveyard, and he got the front end of a Boeing 737 and he put it in his backyard,
No.
gutted it out, put all this up, and just put everything in there. His computer, he did. They told me that he needed like 7 computers to run that thing. So once you walk in, he could switch on the lights. It's like literally the aircraft itself, and turns everything on. Everything works. Yeah, to manufacturers to make specific motherboards so all the panels will work. And then up front, I think he did is 3 projectors. big, humongous projector screens. So doesn't use LEDs, nothing like that. So he got projector screens on the front and on the side.
That's really cool.
And
what money can buy.
Yeah. It went over all this stuff. I heard it was around 30 grand and plus. 30 grand. But he's a doctor, he could afford it. I imagine now, and this was back then with the previous flight simulator, because now with the new flight simulator that's out now, it's so advanced. The graphics, it takes a lot of everything: GPU power, CPU power, and there's one more thing you must need is fast internet. You need super, super fast internet because it has to upload all the information through data.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a cool thing. I'm telling you, that's pretty fun. Now, one thing with you, I have a question. Do you hunt?
I don't. No.
You don't hunt? Okay.
No.
I saw a pic one time.
Casually fish. That's about it.
You casually fish.
Yeah, if we go up to a cottage or somebody's cottage or whatever, we'll all get in a boat or like fish off the dock. But that's as far as I go for hunting.
That's as far. Okay, because one time you posted a pic or you had a pic about yourself on Twitter, and you had a camouflage jacket or something, or it was green. I don't know. And I was like, oh, he probably hunts.
Yeah, you just gotta
blend
go for
in.
a hike or whatever. You just gotta blend in.
You gotta blend in.
Yeah. No hunting here.
No
it's
hunting.
a gun-free household, like most houses in Canada.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about that. Sometimes you guys leave the door open. I mean, unlocked.
I'm pretty sure my front door is probably unlocked right now, but my dog's at the front door. So if somebody wants to come in, like,
he'll be barking. Yeah.
Yeah. Find out, right?
Jeez.
He's probably sleeping on the couch too, so he's not doing he'll wake up, but
he'll wake up. He'll hear something.
He's sleeping on the couch right now, living the best life. Bet. Yeah, our front door, our side door is unlocked and wide open.
What breed is he?
He is a husky German Shepherd.
Hyper?
No. Surprisingly not. He's pretty calm. He's got his moments. He has his 10 minutes every few hours of zoomies and needs to play with everything in the house. He's got a little basket with all of his toys and he pulls them all out at nighttime and wants to play with everything all at once. Backyard, he'll run around 100 times, but other than that, he's pretty chill.
Wow, that's not so.
He sleeps most of the day. Sorry?
You only have one dog?
Yeah, one dog. Okay. One's more than enough.
Yeah. Yeah, over here we only got one little Shih Tzu mixed Maltese.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I'm a big dog guy, but
me too.
Large dog, not like little, but one is enough.
Have you seen that? What is it? The Caucasian? It's a beast of a dog.
Now we gotta look it up.
It's I forgot.
It's a Caucasian Shepherd dog. That's the first thing I saw when I saw Caucasian. Big floofy dog.
Caucasian. It's Caucasian something. Let me see. It's a humongous.
I'm seeing Caucasian Shepherd.
Let's see if I find it.
It looks like a big lion. But a dog.
If it stands up, Caucasian Shepherd. That's it. The Caucasian Shepherd.
Yeah, I'm looking at a photo right now. It looks like a bear.
Yeah.
It's massive. Yeah. My dream dog would be an Irish Wolfhound. But they are they grow to be about, if they were to stand on their back legs, about 7 feet tall.
What?
Yeah.
7 feet tall. Gee.
Yeah, they're about 7 feet, and they're like wire-haired, like a Great Dane, but wire-haired and really long nose. Looks like a wolf. They're just huge, but they're like the most friendly dogs ever. I just need a bigger house and a bigger backyard if I were to get one of those.
Man, I mean, no wonder you have your door unlocked. Yeah, go ahead. You meet and greet the big
Yeah,
one.
come on,
Yeah,
bring it.
yeah, I'll think
He
about
stands
it.
on his back legs, and yeah,
Let me go to the house where it has the Chihuahua.
yeah. Hey, they're ankle biters. It's okay. That's
Yeah,
good.
they're aggressive little.
My sister has a Chihuahua Rat Terrier mix, and she's like, I'm more scared of her than I am of my dog. She'll get everyone, and she'll wake the whole neighborhood up if somebody were to break in the house. So,
Jeez, they're very defensive. They love their owners.
absolutely, yeah.
And I bet if your sister is holding the dog, and you try to put your hand, get near, oh gosh,
My dog will just jump on people, but he's not aggressive at all, which is good.
he's jump up because he likes to play.
He's got more husky than he does German Shepherd. He's more like wants to love you than attack you.
He'll probably lick you to death.
Yeah.
Go ahead and lick you up all the way. If you put some maple syrup on you, I'll lick you even more.
Probably. No, peanut butter. He's a big peanut butter guy.
Oh, okay. Now, Canada, I think I heard something like every family has their own like maple. Like some family has different styles of maple syrup. Some of them take it from different, I don't know, trees or something. They have some recipes or something. Some are like very exclusive because when I go to the store, I see like 5 different type of brands, and obviously they're like, "Oh, this one is a darker one. This is a lighter one."
It's like Scotch.
Oh,
it's like your favorite alcohol, whatever, tequila, Scotch, all that. It's got different aging processes, I guess. Or I am not an expert on maple syrup whatsoever, but I prefer actually like Quebec based out of a can and like a dark maple syrup.
Out of a can?
Yeah. So like, I don't know. It's I don't even know what brand it is, but when I see it at the store, I know that's exactly what it is. Or you can get it out of glass bottles. Vermont has really good maple syrup too, but it's like right there on that line of Quebec.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'd say Quebec-based maple syrup is the best maple syrup.
I'm gonna just try it. I want to. Now you got me curious.
It's expensive too. It's like gold. It's like liquid gold.
Really?
There's a Netflix show that is like the Great Heist, the Great Maple Syrup Heist or something. You should watch that. It's fantastic. It's about like a $3 million more or something crazy heist of stolen maple syrup.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's insane.
Maple syrup?
Yeah, it's big business. Like one jar or one like those cans are like $13 to $16 for like a regular like a bean can size of food or of syrup. So yeah, it's expensive.
Okay, now you got me.
It's not your Mrs. Butterworth. Like it's not corn syrup.
Junk. That's just sugar and
yeah, but I love that shit too. So I can't really. Yeah.
Right, because you're used to the good gourmet stuff.
But that's for like special occasions, you know, when you make pancakes or you make some French toast or whatever it is. But a lot of people just like the regular table syrup.
Quebec maple syrup in a can.
Yeah, and then you have to look up the Quebec maple syrup heist.
Okay. I'm gonna look that up.
Canadian syrup heist. That's what it's called. The Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist.
Wow. I'm gonna check that out.
$21.7 million of stolen maple syrup.
Oh my God.
3,000 tons. And I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix.
It's got to be on Netflix.
I watched it. Oh, Maple Syrup Heist Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah. Dirty Money.
How can you steal?
Well, they
31.
stole the barrels.
I know, but how can you steal so much 31 tons of barrel without being caught or seen? That's crazy.
But yeah, check it out, listeners. Watch the
Yeah.
Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist.
I
That's
wanna
what you
check.
get. Education on everything. Rainbow Six and maple syrup
Yeah.
when you come to this podcast.
Yeah, there you go. Everybody's gonna get to hear a little bit about everything. So when you're a professor at a college,
Mhm.
how'd that go? How you like that?
I think it's great. I've been doing it now for, I want to say, I'm going on to my 4th or 5th year teaching. Started off developing courses with colleges when they were getting into and learning about esports. A lot of colleges came out with like hybrid model courses that were mixed in with like their business program or their marketing program, and they would have like an esports minor attached to it. And then a lot of schools now are actually developing full on like esports programs from like that cover everything. So the business development side, the marketing side, management side, um, project management, events management, um, broadcasting, all of that, everything the whole world of esports provides. So similar to what you would get in like a sports marketing program, but just esports focused. So started that, and then I got an offer to be on the board for it's called the Program Advisory Committee for Seneca College, which is what I'm a graduate from.
Mm.
And through that, we got to review all the courses that were going to be delivered. And then they offered me a teaching position after that, after about 6 months. So started teaching there. I was teaching the course was more of, I'd say, like an intro to esports, like an esports 101. And that was merged with the sports marketing program. So we had non-esports endemic students and then a full esports program all merged into one. And then I also did what did I just recently teach? I just taught production and event management. I come from, my past life was event management. And then now I am teaching at a new college as of January, Conestoga College, in their program that I actually developed this course, which is audience development and analytics. So basically, working with your brand on how to grow your audience, how to engage them long term, generational fandom, kind of everything, tying it all together. And then at the very end, they're going to put together their final assignment's going to be putting together a case study and kind of like a go-to-market strategy for the actual college esports team that already has social medias, and how can we improve it and start growing the fan base.
That's great. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And I've had quite a few students come out and get jobs at pretty large esports companies or marketing firms. One of my graduates, just he emailed me the other day, used me as a reference, and he just got a job at an agency. So now he's an esport agent. And it's a trusted agency, and I'm super pumped about that for him. I just can't name the agency because they're a
Yeah,
competition of mine.
correct. Wow, that's amazing. I I remember when I was DMing you, we were chatting back and forth way back. I didn't know such thing existed in college. You could go for like esports and
Yeah, it's getting huge. A lot of the schools started with teams that actually, the teams started as um, student-led teams in Rocket League or Call of Duty or whatever else.
Mhm.
And it started to lead into, the schools saying, hey, we've got a thing here. How can we get more students to come to our college? Maybe we start an esports program. And at the beginning, I wasn't like, even though I was developing for it, I wasn't for it much. I was kind of
Mhm.
against. I think it was still a little bit too early. I think we're getting into a phase now where there's enough lessons learned and industry professionals who have been through that understand. Like Marco would be a great teacher, right? M80.
Yeah.
A lot of the, maybe Sean from SSG, all these guys who have been in the trenches for so long would be great people to be advisors for programs. I'm pretty sure Beast Coast had or has a partnership with Butler in Indiana. So all of these people who are involved with these schools are just going to help support the growth where it needs to be, which is in the collegiate space, which will then give us those industry professionals that we need to run our organizations and to run our event programs and to run our whatever else. We're not game developers. We're business people developers, really, right? My program has a finance course where everyone has to do financial stuff, learn proper cash flow, how to, spend money that you have, not money that doesn't exist yet, how to properly open a business and taxes and all that stuff. And then everything ties back to, your management course and your capstone at the very end. When you're done all your programs, you do a capstone assignment and you get all your stuff and you put it into practice. And then those students can use that capstone to pitch themselves to get hired by a company. That's our goal at the end, is, again, to create industry professionals. We're not looking to create pro players, none of that stuff. Just, do you understand project management? Do you understand this? And what a lot of organizations need is like the jack of all trades, somebody that can kind of do everything if they're asked. It's important. It sucks, but the industry is still pretty small that we need people who can do everything.
Now, not all colleges offers this.
No.
Now, which college do offer this type of program?
Oh, there's quite a few that are either already have programs or that are developing programs. I can say just the ones I worked with here in Canada. So Seneca College, where I taught, Conestoga, where I'm going to be teaching in January. Algoma University is another Canadian one that we've worked with. Keano College, they're out west, just north of Edmonton. They've got an esports program as well that we worked on. They were probably one of the first, actually, like 2020. I'd say that they started in their program. And again, like I said, some of them are focused, like fully focused on esports. Others are business or marketing focused and then have like a minor. In the US, I don't know who exactly, but I'm sure you can just search esports program USA and it'll come up.
Yeah, I mean, I to be honest, I never thought that would exist. I think you just had to have some type of degree in business administration or in marketing, etc. But the way how you lay it out, it's like, wow, this is the way to go. Looking for a future to get in with an organization, such big developers, big names, and that's more the way to go.
Yeah, as long as the programs, if people are looking to get into something like this, I always personally recommend a traditional marketing course or a traditional business management course right now. And a lot of the esports programs are even postgraduate. They only take 8 months to complete. So go and get your standard whatever degree, diploma at a college for traditional business stuff, and then go and do your postgraduate for 8 months in an esports focused thing, and then make sure you vet the course and the program that the teachers who are there have industry experience in esports or in production or in whatever they're teaching, because a lot of the early ones were just hiring professors that just didn't have the experience and didn't really know and were teaching old content. And this industry moves so fast too, right? So we're talking right now, when you go back online on Twitter and X, in about an hour, there's going to be 500 posts of new things that have happened in the industry, right? So
Yeah.
knowing that you have a professor or somebody that's part of the course that is on top of all this stuff is super important, because you want up-to-date stuff. So one thing I did in my course was we would do it was once a week. They'd have other courses through the week, but once a week I'd have a group from the class present like a weekly news feature, and they'd have to pick news from North America and they'd have to pick news from global in the esports world and tell us about what happened, what are the business implications, what are the industry implications, and then the next week somebody else would talk about something new that happened. And you could see the pattern. If something big, let's say Blizzard Activision, something happened, 4 weeks later, one of the groups would update the class on what happened over the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks with that first one. And we were just seeing the growth and development of things happening. It was really, really cool to see.
Now, there's always one thing I'm going to ask you something. How is it that Counter-Strike has been for so many years and still maintain its popularity versus Rainbow? It went up, then it decreased dramatically, and they're both really intense shooter games. And I'm always trying to look into see why is this, and people didn't care. They played Counter-Strike with awful graphics. Now they just did a reset after so many years. Now they decided to, this Counter-Strike 2. And I try to look at the business side of it. I try to see what is it that they're doing? What's the formula? What the world? What do you think? What is it what's the formula that why is it so successful versus others?
I think that's a loaded question. I'm not big into CS, so I can't really. I can give my outside perspective of that game, and I think it's been around for so long, and people who have loved that game and have been attached to that game for so long will always just want that one thing. They tried to transfer people over to Valorant, right? When Valorant came out, CS people tried it and they went right back. I think it's just like that was the original one that everyone played on the computer, mouse and keyboard, talking back about like generational fandom of something, right? Once you're in it, I think they have a pretty well built circuit as well. Organizations that have been in there for a long time. Yeah, it kind of shocked me when the new update came out too. And how people came back to it again. And I'd have to see the stats really on how well it's doing compared to previous. I'm assuming it's doing better than ever. And yeah, again, like the support that they're getting from the publisher and the events people, and just again, it's a simple game to follow. It's no different than Siege. Plant the bomb, defuse the bomb, kill the 5 guys before we get killed. But it's a lot easier to follow because it's not
as well.
It's flat, and not 3D and stacked. And I don't need a big graphics card to play the game, and I don't need
to spend so much money on a computer just to.
And there's no new operators that come in, and there's no, the hardest thing to understand in that game is probably the economy side of it, right? Importance of the money in the game. Whereas when I'm playing Siege, I need which operator counters this operator and which operator counters that operator. And there's so many, again, nuances. CS is simple. It's 5 versus 5, gun versus gun. They all do the same thing. And run to A site, run to B site, and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot more education on that game too. It's been around for 100 years.
I know that's the crazy thing is it's been around for so long, and it's very successful, and it's still doing good. That one and Overwatch, another one that does really good. And
Overwatch is not a fun game to watch either, though.
yeah, it makes
Very
you
hard to watch.
busy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's too much.
But that game is pretty much dying with their esports scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the updates and the league. It didn't work. So CS really started as, I think too, they have the circuit just runs all the time, right? Not even just the pro circuit. They've got so many different amateur levels of the circuit, so anyone can really compete in that game if they want to. You don't need an org backing, and the scene is massive. Versus, I think the Siege scene is tiny compared to the CS scene, and how many opportunities people have to compete simply with ESL or whatever, Face It, whatever apps they're using now for competition. And Siege, I think, is a little bit more closed off with what you can do.
Yeah, it is smaller than CS, and Halo is even smaller even than Rainbow.
There's nothing wrong with these niche titles. It's just how do you continue to engage your audience over time?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many games that come out that we think is going to be the next best esports game, but you look back and it's the same titles. It's Call of Duty, it's Rainbow Six, it's Rocket League, it's CS:GO, or CS2, whatever it is now, Valorant, right? League of Legends, Dota. There hasn't really been a game that's come in other than Valorant that's disrupted the industry.
Yeah.
So maybe the new Ubisoft game comes in and does actually disrupt. But are they going to take down Call of Duty? I don't think so. Your Call of Duty people are going to play that game, and they've hired advisors who have worked for Call of Duty and ex-pros from Call of Duty to help make that game
even
as good, get it as good as possible. But you're not going to transfer those diehard Call of Duty people to that game. It's never going to happen. They might play it for 5 minutes. Yeah. And then what's the life cycle? So it's tough. It's tough these times right now to launch a game with a proper path to esports. When the gaming industry is huge, that game's going to be successful as a game, but is it going to be a successful esport? Only time will tell.
Yeah, you got to make it very exclusive and in a way that something totally different, nothing in common. I played first. I was playing Halo, then I went into Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and that was the big thing. It broke record in sales, and then I jumped into Battlefield. Battlefield, the biggest thing. It was phenomenal. You choose. It was a battle between Call of Duty or Battlefield. People were just they didn't know. You just gotta choose your taste. And then this recent Battlefield 2022 or
2048.
2048 something.
I think that was something like that.
Yeah.
2042. What was it?
Yeah. It's something of the sort. And
2042.
yeah. So I got it. It came with the PC I bought, and I was so excited because the trailers, everybody, it was the biggest hype. And once we played, it's like, oh, what is this? Then you see the characters are just like old people, this old lady. It's like, what the world? The gameplay wasn't there. It felt so off. I was so used to the Battlefield 4, and I mean, it was phenomenal because somebody could be camping on a building, and I could just destroy the bottom part of the building, and then the whole entire building would collapse and kill the person. And it was crazy. But now Call of Duty just keeps on rolling and doing good games, doing it phenomenal, and then Battlefield's completely out. I don't know. They're gonna have to come up with something really really big to make a comeback because it hurt them. A lot of these games, I see a lot of games that come out, they have the potential, they had the hype, like Cyberpunk, and then all of a sudden, boom, so many glitches, bugs, it could destroy a company.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Cyberpunk just didn't they win an award at the Game Awards for something?
Yeah,
I think they did.
I think they did
For like
'cause
support.
they put so much. I've been reading, and they've been putting so much effort to making the game good now, fixing all the bugs, fixing everything all the glitches, and they put a lot of effort. I know they're putting a lot of countless hours, and I think they deserve it.
That's good.
Yeah, they're doing good, and that's one of the things that I seen how these companies they could do good. Now Fortnite, I'm gonna tell you, I bet all these companies, Microsoft, all these big names, they wish they could have won. They were just starting in the beginning. They could have just like, hey, I want to buy you. Let me buy you out.
Yeah.
And now that Fortnite's it's not gonna be sold to nobody. They're doing so good in their strategy of them. I'm like, they're very smart. They're getting outside musician influencers. Like, they just brought in Eminem into the game. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that was
what
dope.
the world? So each time they're gonna bring somebody, they brought Ariana Grande. They got you. I'm like, what in the world? No wonder it's just gonna get popular and popular. It's never gonna die out. Kids
Nope.
gonna just keep on playing. They're gonna, and
Keep
if they
buying skins, keep funding the game, and they just injected Rocket Racing into it from Rocket League,
wow,
and they're doing all kinds of stuff. They're trying to get all of their stuff, all of their properties together. And then the Lego thing, like people thought it was going to be a limited time mode, but they're saying that it's going to be forever. So now they've got this sandbox mode, and they're trying to keep, which should be everyone's goal, is trying to keep everyone engaged with your platform and your game or your content as long as possible. Why, when you click a link on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, it's like, are you sure you want to leave? And that's the app saying, like, I don't want you to leave the app. Stay longer. If I have to make you click a whole bunch of buttons to get somewhere, you're probably not going to, and you're going to stay on our platform. So they keep on getting new things, new updates, new game modes. Just like games release a new battle pass every season. It's not because they want to make more money. Well, they do, obviously. But if we release a new game mode and a battle pass, it's going to get you to come, yes, spend money, but it's going to re-engage you to open the game again. What's new? Why are there new operators coming in all the time? Because it's going to engage you to buy the new battle pass, come and play, turn the game on, and maybe you fall back in love with the game again, right? Fortnite's been on my desktop. It's the one game other than Rocket League that's been on my desktop since the beginning of time that I've had my computer. I've played Apex Legends. I've played Valorant. I've played CS, but no game other than those two have really, like, Rocket League's my game. That's my go-to. If I'm going to turn on a game for fun, it's not fun sometimes, but that's my go-to, right? And that's really, like, that's why when I say earlier, like, the gaming industry is way bigger than the esports industry. It is. It's obviously a multi-billion-dollar industry. But it's the people we do need to cater to is the casual gamer. And then how do we convert those gamers to become like a hardcore fan of our game or of our org or of ourselves as content creators, whatever it is, right?
Correct. Yes.
That's the hardest part. And then buy my merch, right?
That's correct.
Always comes down to that. Buy my shit.
Yeah. I see, like, wow, how man, I'm sure that a lot of these companies are trying to do a little bit what Fortnite is doing because they see how Fortnite is so successful. My issue is with Rainbow, they should do the same thing. First of all, they should have gave the game away for free by now.
Yeah.
you know,
Dead conversation. Will it happen? Maybe. But it should be a free game.
it should be
Every
a free
game should be free.
Every game should be free, and you make the money through sales, skins. I mean, geez, even content creators.
But the
Jinxie,
hard thing too is like
Charm.
the age demographic for Siege versus Fortnite. Right? Fortnite is a kid's game through and through. It's for the 13-year-old. There's no blood, there's no gore, there's no whatever, right?
Correct.
Yeah, they're shooting, they're fake characters, all that stuff. When it gets to Siege, when it gets to CS, when it gets to I can't even say Valorant because Valorant's under the same umbrella as like more geared towards a younger audience.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why they've got the rules. Like if you're broadcasting Valorant, blood and gore have to be off. Whereas Siege, CS, terrorist versus counter terrorist, right?
Correct.
And there's blood, and you hear the splatter. Siege, same thing. There's blood, there's shooting. It's pretty aggressive, right? The only thing they've done right on that game, not that the only thing they've done right. The thing they've done right there is saying attacker versus defender, right? And you're planting the case, you're diffusing the bomb, you're not planting a bomb. So it's the opposite of, your CS. So there are right things, but again, it's still geared towards an 18 plus audience. Pros have to be 18 plus. There's no youth injection at 13, like, a lot of the Fortnite pros who were 13, 14, 15 years old when the game first came out.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Fortnite's, let me tell you, I'm surprised because a lot of the OG players like Tifu and Ninja, they're pretty much older.
Yeah. But they've
now,
been
yeah,
I'd say Ninja's probably like in his 30s, right?
correct. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Tifu as well. There's some other people. Disrespect, Tinda Tatman. Tinda Tatman's in his 30s. Disrespect is in his 40s. They still play it once in a while, and they'll hop on around and they play it. And I mean, that game is very successful, and I really believe that Rainbow should have a long time ago just made the game for free, put it on every platform. It's gonna boost up. Stop going for $5 or $10. Just give it for free. My goodness, just give it for free.
Well, you can see the engagement of the game when they put it on free, but I think the big thing was they need to nail down the cheater thing that you talked about earlier.
Correct.
In order to make it free.
Interesting.
Because what happened with Rocket League when they made Rocket League free is we started to see a large amount of Smurf accounts come in. I'll take Smurfs over cheaters any day of the week.
Oh yeah, me too.
But so many people were able to go ahead and make accounts that then they had to make it, okay, you can't play ranked until you hit level 30 or 25 or whatever it is. Great, no problem. I love that. But there's so many Smurfs out there. And as somebody who's like not a great, so what's the rankings? Supersonic, champ, or grand champion. I'm in the champion rank, which is pretty high up, but it's not, pro level. I'm seeing very, very high skilled players playing at my level that shouldn't be, and you can tell the difference when you're playing a game.
Yeah,
right? You know in Siege how many kills you should get in a round or in an entire game. Of course, we're all going to have our bad games. We're going to get 0 or 1 or whatever. We're going to go 0-7 every once in a while. But you can tell if you're in a lobby with the wrong person. So when you've got these Smurf accounts coming in and just like stomping on you, my whole thing is like, this game should never have been free. Because I bought Rocket League when it was $20, which is an affordable price, really, for a game. So Siege being what, $14 right now and forever, it's not the end of the world. But am I going to spend more money on a game, let's say Fortnite, long term that I know I got for free? Or am I going to spend money in a game like Call of Duty that needs my $70, $80 every single year? I'm not going to put a penny into it. I'm more likely to buy the Battle Pass on Rocket League every single time it comes out versus ever spending money on a Battle Pass for Call of Duty that asks me for $70, $80 every year.
Correct.
I'm fine with $14. I know it is hard for some people to justify spending any money on video games, especially when things are free. But the game has to be stable before we make it free. That's my thought.
That's true. That's true. And I totally agree with you. Yeah, I hopefully this year we'll see some this upcoming year now and New Year's, we see some bigger change and something new with Rainbow. I really want them to succeed. I want them to do good. I don't want orgs leaving the hold on. I don't want orgs what?
I was excited.
That's my wife.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Hello.
Nice to meet you.
We're live, you know that.
Oh, sorry. Bye.
That's the best. I love that.
Oh my god. She's like, "Can I say hi?" I said, "You're crazy." I texted her, and she comes in.
It's okay. Perfect. Put it on the blooper reel. I love it.
I'm gonna have to put it in because
See,
people
that's the content for TikTok and stuff.
yeah, I gotta open up a TikTok account. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Basically I do everything on Twitter and that's basically it. And all podcasters says you gotta go everywhere. You gotta go on I open up a YouTube, but I don't know, I just don't have that much time. It's like today I gotta go to work tonight. I work 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. and in the hospital, those are the hospital shifts. I wish there was. Well, sometimes I don't. I'm kind of happy it's 12 hours, but if it was 9 to 5, it will drain you. It would literally would destroy your body. Some people, those nurses, they don't do that no more. Now it's like office staff. People that are in the offices, they do those hours, but nurses, they need to just like go to work, get it over with, and then have your 4 days off in a row.
Yeah, you detox, decompress, everything you need to do.
Way too. It's a pain. It's really hard because you're holding patients' lives and they're in your hands, and
Yeah,
it's hard. Yeah. So yeah, I gotta open up. I gotta open up a TikTok account.
you gotta be on. Yeah, you gotta be on all the platforms. But
on the podcast, there's a host. They send out. I didn't know. I was all over. I was like, man, I'm on Google's. Yeah, you say you're on Apple and Spotify, yes, because those are the two biggest ones. But we got you on like 10 other more. I was like, really? And they go, yeah, you're already.
It's because of this, what you're using to record these, right?
Yeah, I use Riverside, and then the host is Transistor.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a really good, very good one.
Awesome.
So they really help me out, educate me, and obviously you got to pay good. It's a decent amount. It's nothing expensive.
Yeah,
it's a monthly fee. But yeah, they spread out, so it's kind of fun. Now, there's one topic I want to talk to you about before we start heading out. You're a professor. You know about esports and etc. I know, and I'm not going to mention which games, but I know in certain games, some players, pro players, been taking. Some got caught, some haven't, but they've been taking and Adderalls or something to help them concentrate. Does esport tackle this if they find out? I mean, I assume if you don't have a doctor's prescription, you shouldn't be using this stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Now I know. Also, some already know there's natural supplements that you could take to basically do the same exact thing.
Right.
So, how the esport goes about this?
Oh, that's a great question. Holy. The first thing you said is prescription based. If it's prescription based, great. I think that's fine. The game and the publishers and developers need to find a way to sanction these kinds of products that are being used. I don't know if it's ever something that's going to be, unless we have a always in-person, LAN league, kind of like how we used to have in Rainbow Six. If they did drug testing, which they never did, at least when our team was there, that I know of. I don't remember any of my players ever saying, "Hey, I got drug tested today." I'd have to go back into the rule book and see. I'm pretty sure the rule books are accessible for everyone if we look up drug use or substance abuse or whatever. I think it's really hard to test and know what players are using in the game, and if it really does impact their performance. Right? It's not like traditional sports and taking steroids or other PEDs. Is Adderall really going to make me click and shoot faster? Is it going to make me better on controller? Maybe it does, yes, help with focus or whatever else. And if you need it, you need it.
Correct.
If it's prescribed. I think there's negative effects for people who are taking something that they're not prescribed to as well.
That is 100%.
Because their friends are using it and say, "Hey, I use this to study. You should take it too." And I've seen friends who do not need to take Adderall who have had the opposite effect. Some have had the proper effect. Maybe they need it. I don't know. It wasn't really something I ever asked players about. They did fill out, contact forms and health forms or whatever else needed to be filled out. Especially when they were moving into the house in Vegas, we had, their, emergency contacts, all that kind of stuff. But I never went up to a player and said, "Do you take Adderall when you're playing?" Because it wasn't something that the league was asking us to make sure about. Which players, smoke weed. Correct. I'm sure there's lots of them out there. Does that make them better? Does it make them worse? Who knows? We don't know. Who's drinking when they're playing at home or when they're streaming? There's rules in place in traditional sports. Makes sense. However, I'd be all for, a baseball league that every player was on steroids and bring us back to our, Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire days.
Oh gosh.
Right? When guys are hitting 70, or Barry Bonds, hitting 72 home runs in a season. I think it'd make it more entertaining. As long as the leagues continue to have the health and safety of the players first, that's the most important for me. When it comes to burnout and mental health, when it comes to, Adderall use or whatever else, again, as long as it's not harming players and the person themselves, I don't really have a full stance on it.
Yeah, that's
really, it's a hard question, but I like it.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I always thought about. And, I know I just don't like to mention anything or mention names where that comes more targeted. Some certain players more, certain games use it more than others. And now some are like, wait, I found out there's a natural way to use it. I could just get it at local, convenience store.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's
Or
a
you can
million
just get it
drinks out there
online.
that
Yeah, it helps us stay focused, and it helps with this, and it just does the same effect as Adderall does. So I could use this, and I don't get it into any trouble because it
Yeah.
helps me focus. Now, then again, like I tell everybody, something I will always suggest: do not take anything without consulting with your doctor. Bingo. Talk
I
to a
back that
professional.
fully. Yeah.
Yep. Talk to your doctor. If your doctor says, yeah, you could take this, even if it's natural supplement, you have to always consult with your doctor.
Yep.
Even if it's tea, whatever it is, talk to your doctor. Doesn't matter. Talk to your professional doctor. He will advise you, tell you yes or no. They'll do a whole bunch of tests and etc. Because
Exactly.
you could take, some people can't take Mountain Dew, can drink Mountain Dew. I'm sorry, because it'll accelerate their heart and they'll start having heart palpitations and having this. Some people can't drink regular coffee no more. So you just got to be careful. Always consult with your doctor, no matter what you do. So at the end of the day, a lot of them be taken and they think, well, since this is natural, I could take this, and then they start having some side effect because hey, it's not. You shouldn't do it. You don't need it, and some will take it because it'll help them focus, and then just like it does. I mean, I did suffer from ADHD since I was young, and it's something that doesn't go away. I had some doctors tell me, "Oh, I had it, and I still have it. It doesn't go away." I said, "Dude, you're a doctor. How can that?" He says, "Yes, but my dopamine kicks in this. It doesn't kick in other stuff."
Right.
I was like, "Oh, wow." Then they kind of like explained to me, this is his being a doctor is this high. Learning stuff in medicine is this high. And then he explained that's how come little kids they will play they will do horrible in math, but you put them to play a maze game on Fortnite and they could solve it like in or a maze game, I'm sorry, in a Minecraft, and they could just solve it like in minutes. It's just depending on so much factors. They like the colors. It gets them interested, and they could solve things that it will probably take you a long time to solve. And say, put a kid play Tomb Raider. You can see they could probably beat it like in a few days, and it takes you like a whole month.
More than that, probably.
Yeah, I'm like okay, so that was something that I always was intrigued and interested about how the esport handles the consumption of certain drugs and what do they do about it. I was curious about that.
It's going to be tough, like I said, until it's like a LAN sanctioned event all the time, right? NCAA football, they can test the players once a week or whatever they want, whenever they call, or they can do random testing, but you can't do that in esports, especially when most of it's being done at home right now.
Wow, yeah, it's true. They do it at home, but when they go to LAN, you go to an event, you just don't know.
Right. But if there's a warning and it's saying like, hey, we're going to drug test you, they do have to give you the notice as well. And it needs to be probably certain months ahead of time. But if it's in the global rulebook, then you got to follow the guide of your game, whatever that game is, right? They're more focused on people who have, macros on your on your keyboard than they do about the drugs that you're taking, right?
That's crazy.
Because it's more integrity of the game than somebody taking Adderall.
Wow.
How many keystrokes did that person? Moss is running on all the players for Rainbow Six, right? So like they're more focused on Moss than they are on Adderall or other drugs that people are taking. So just it's the truth.
It's the truth. Yeah, it's true.
But also, it's because they don't want people cheating in a professional environment, which is possible, which needs to end, right?
That's true.
And people have been caught cheating in LAN environment, which is hard to do because they've got a cheat plugged into their mouse or coded into their keyboard or whatever it is. So people will always find a way to cheat. And if drugs is the least of our concern, then let it be. And again, for both of us, it's health and safety of the players first, education of the use of these drugs is also just as important as that. So I can't say anything about it other than that. That's my stance.
Wow. Well, Chris, I know I could keep on talking with you for hours, and I know you're a busy man. Same as me. Today's one of those days I gotta get going, and if not, we'll. But you know what? This is not gonna be the first or the last. So this is the most def. I'm gonna pull you in some next time soon, and bring you into the show. So I want to thank you foremost to responding and appearing, and it's a true honor. This episode is phenomenal. Had a good time, and before we leave, I want to. The platform is yours. Let everybody know where they can find you, how to reach you, website, etc. Go ahead.
Awesome. I appreciate you having me. It's been a blast, and like hour and a half flew by, which is awesome. I've tried to make it as simple as possible on all social media. It's Chris Lama on everything. That's really about it. I'm not too active on social media as much anymore, more LinkedIn than anything else. I have my moments on X, but that's where you can find me. It's Chris Lama on all social media platforms.
Well, there you have it, folks. Don't forget to follow the man on Twitter/X. I mean, some people still call it Twitter, but yeah, please follow him. He's a phenomenal guy, very humble. So please do me that favor, follow him on X. Okay, well, folks, it is time. Have a good one. Happy New Year to everybody. God bless you. Take care, and we'll be seeing. There will be another episode coming soon, so stay tuned. Okay.